What's up? Today I'm going to be giving a film review for The Accountant. Now this film stars Ben Affleck, J.K. Simmons, John Lithgow, and various other like actors and actresses as well too. I think Anna Kendrick too as well. Other like people that are kind of like well known. Well, you have Ben Affleck in the role of Christian, this guy known as Christian Chris Wolf, and he's a highly functioning autistic small towns certified public accountant who makes his living uncooking the books of dangerous criminal organizations that are experiencing internal embezzlement. So basically, he's like he actually works as an accountant, like a mathematician. He has like mathematics skills too as well. But at the same time, he's kind of like autistic. And then you get to see like little glimpses of this too, and like in his past, like it shows like little scenes of him when he's like a kid and so on. And you get to see that he had like a mental problem, but he's actually still okay, and he's like functioning well. He's like still okay. He knows what's going on. So he's not really like like that autistic. He just has like little levels of like autism basically. Hey, what's up? Today I'm going to be giving a film review for The Accountant. Now this film stars Ben Affleck, J.K. Simmons, John Lithgow, and various other like actors and actresses as well too. I think Anna Kendrick too as well. Other like people that are kind of like well known. Well, you have Ben Affleck in the role of Christian, this guy known as Christian Chris Wolf, and he's a highly functioning autistic small towns certified public accountant who makes his living uncooking the books of dangerous criminal organizations that are experiencing internal embezzlement. So basically, he's like he actually works as an accountant, like a mathematician. He has like mathematics skills too as well. But at the same time, he's kind of like autistic. And then you get to see like little glimpses of this too, and like in his past, like it shows like little scenes of him when he's like a kid and so on. And you get to see that he had like a mental problem, but he's actually still okay, and he's like functioning well. He's like still okay. He knows what's going on. So he's not really like like that autistic. He just has like little levels of like autism basically. Because also like the scenes where you get to see Ben Affleck's like character Christian, when he's like actually younger. He was actually played by the boy that I think that was him that played Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie Halloween remake. I think his name is Dave Farage. I think he actually plays like the younger version of Ben Affleck in the film. Basically, when it shows like flashback sequences to how he was like being trained to fight and to take care of himself, and he also had like a brother too as well, who's like a big part of this film as well too. But the film is like what's kind of like interesting about it, kind of like one of the downsides to it, from my opinion, is it kind of like it seems to be like a drama film, like a dramatic film, but then at times it changes to like a full-fledged like hardcore like action film, which is cool. And the action scenes in the film were like awesome, like some of the scenes where Ben Affleck is like shooting people and like like the criminals or like fighting and taking them out and stuff, and he's like a serious threat. And I thought scenes like that were like awesome and cool, when he's taking them out and stuff. I thought that kind of stuff was like cool, He had such like an imposing presence, in this film. But other than that, like that's what's basically like kind of stands out, is that he's like kind of like autistic, but he has like this like highly like mathematic like skill level, basically, they kind of show, but it's kind of confusing, I try, be straightforward with what I thought about, but like other people in the film, like J.K. Simmons, I thought he was good in this role, and I thought who else was it? And John Lithgow, he had like the little screen time that he had. I thought he was kind of decent, he was okay at it. Then you have like other like actresses and like actors too as well. There's also like kind of like a love interest for Ben Affleck, like this lady he meets, when he goes to this like robotic like engineering place, where they're trying to create like I think like robotic like arms or limbs for people, and it's actually I think it was run by John Lithgow, like his character, But when Ben Affleck goes to this place, he starts getting like digging up more stuff, like in his past and so on. But he meets this lady there, who becomes, I guess you could say, the love interest of the film, And I thought she was kind of decent too, like her performance, it was okay. So you have like J.K. Simmons. He's in the role of Raymond King, and he's like the director of financial crimes for the Treasury Department, and he's actually pursuing Ben Affleck's protagonist Christian, who's also known as the accountant, because they have like a little flashback sequence too. I don't want to spoil it, It kind of like ties you see why like Raymond King has like a passion for trying to pursue the accountant, and like I guess you could say like catch him or so on. But at the same time, he also has like a woman who he tricks into where he blackmails to help him find Christian, Ben Affleck's character basically. Yeah, cause the woman that is blackmailed by J.K. Simmons' character is played by Cynthia, I think Adia Robinson, and she's actually played Amanda Waller on the Arrow TV show. So I knew she looked familiar, and now that I recall and look it up, she played Amanda Waller on the Arrow TV series. She's actually the one that's having trying to help J.K. Simmons pursue like the accountant and so on. But this film, I thought it was okay. I thought the flashback sequences were interesting because they were like hardcore. They see how these boys were like raised and so on. Turns out like when it's like a little like a revelation kind of towards the end. If I'm not nothing too big, you can actually kind of see it coming, about like Ben Affleck when he was like a younger, he had like a brother and so on. So it turns out like I don't want to spoil it, for people who haven't seen it yet. But the film it did have like some like tense action scenes that were cool, like the action sequences I thought were like fun and like exciting. Plus it did have like a nice little pace to it. You get to see scenes of like Ben Affleck's like protagonist Christian. He's like I guess you could say like kind of like torturing himself and stuff when he's like home. He has like this stick or whatever that he's like constantly rubbing on his leg. At one point he's even beating himself with it and he breaks it and so on, And you can tell he's like kind of living like in an isolated area, And he's like well hidden and so on, So nobody doesn't really know, the things that he kind of do on the side, They just know him as like I guess what was it, like an accountant? They don't really know the thing. The certified public accountant. They don't know that he's actually out there killing like criminals and so on and stuff like that. But yeah, in the end, I thought it was a pretty cool film. At times it does, like I said, it seems like it doesn't know if it wants to be like a dramatic like film or like a straightforward like hardcore like action film. It get kind of like just back and forth like that. One point it's like it seems like it's kind of like a slow paced dramatic film, but then next thing it's like a fast paced like boom, like people getting killed and shot up and stuff. So that's what kind of so it's kind of like odd about it. But yeah, in the end, my review for The Accountant. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give this a B minus. I thought it was like well paced, it was interesting, at times. I thought it was like fun, it's mainly for the action scenes alone. I thought were kind of cool, So I'm giving this a B minus, and this is my review for The Accountant.